everyone, I'm Denise.
I'm Georgie.
And we're also known as the Happy Vegan
Couple.
We're going to make a kale salad for you today with roasted garbanzo beans on top with a yummy tahini dressing. And this was a recipe I saw two of my favorite doctors do on a live stream. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But first, I know Georgie wants to get started with the garbanzo beans because we need to put them in the oven. So I'm going to let him show you how he's going to prepare those.
Okay, first thing I did is I turned my oven on 400 and it's ready right now. My seasonings, what I have for these today is salt, pepper, smoked paprika, turmeric, onion powder, and garlic powder. And these are my 2 cups of garbanzo beans.
And I just want to mention that whenever we use turmeric, we always use black pepper because it really makes the turmeric, especially that curcumin in there, be much more what we call bioavailable for your body. So just remember, whenever you use turmeric, use a little bit of black pepper. Your body will thank you for it. Okay?
And what I got is a half a teaspoon of all of them except the pepper and salt. That's just like a pinch. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my seasonings and I'm going to put it in a bowl that has a lid on it. So that when I put I'm going to mix this up first. Got my seasonings nice and mixed. I'm going to go ahead and put my garbanzo beans in there. The reason I have a lid is because I'm going to shake up all the seasonings around it. Nice and coated.
Now, I just wanted to tell you, I don't know if there's a hard and fast rule about how long to cook it at the oven and what temperature, because I've seen variations with different people who do roasted garbanzo beans. But the doctors that we found this from, I think they were telling us 400 degrees, 30, 40 minutes until they're done. So we'll try it that way.
So
we've done it before.
So what I'll do is I'll put it in the oven. After 15 minutes, I'll take and shake the pan so the other side starts getting crispy and dried out. Okay, and I got just a baking pan with parchment paper on it. Just gonna go ahead and pour these on here.
And you also could use one of those silicone pads as well. We have those, but we thought maybe not all of you have that, so we wanted to show you parchment paper.
You can't see it, but I've got them all in a single layer right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven. And set the timer for 15.
Yeah, some people suggest kind of shaking them after 15 minutes or so. So, okay.
Somebody didn't do that right.
So, before we move on, I want to tell you part of the inspiration why we wanted to make this for you. Because kale is a leafy green. And do you know what? That is one of the most healthy things you can eat. And the 2 doctors that shared this recipe with us on one of their live streams were the 2 neurologists I love to listen to, Doctors Dean and Ayesha Sherzai. They call themselves the BrainDocs. They're a husband and wife team. These 2 are so smart and wise, and they do a lot of advocacy telling everybody that if you want your best brain health, which is also totally related to your cardiovascular health in general, then you want to eat leafy greens. That's the #1 food. So this is their 2nd book that came out called The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. This recipe is actually not in this book, but there's a lot of other good ones, plus other ones with kale. But I wanted to show you, because what they have in here is the 9 major foods that people should eat, right? And I just want to show you. I'm going to bring it up to the camera. Hopefully you can see this. Leafy greens is #1 for the Neuro 9, they say. Leafy greens. The #1 top brain food. Right? And I know from our doctors who talk about cardiovascular disease, same thing. Eat those greens. They just, and there's all kinds of greens. It doesn't have to be kale. They say it can include kale, watercress, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, arugula. They say greens contain a ton of antioxidants, folic acid, vitamin E, and beta carotene, all nutrients that support brain health. So these two are really great to follow. And I just want to share one other little thing about them. They actually have a wonderful program. It is a paid program. It's about, I think, $30 or $40 a month, or maybe $400 for the year, where you are with these two doctors a lot through the year. So if you are like a new person to whole food plant-based eating and you haven't really gotten too far on your own, and maybe you're having challenges and issues, these are the people to get with. So you can go to their website. I don't remember exactly what the website, but look for Dean and Ayesha Sherzai, or Sherzai.com, Sherzai.com, and look for their Neuro Academy and read about it and see if you might want to join, because again, they have amazing gatherings going on social media with private groups where they are doing so much teaching about the science, about preparing the food. Ayesha actually has a culinary degree as well as her medical degrees. These people are just amazing. So I just want to share all that with you because I really respect everything they do. And, you know I want to protect my brain. So I eat a lot of leafy greens. All right, with that, we're gonna just let Georgie go ahead now. He's gonna make the dressing, the tahini dressing for the salad.
Did you want to do close-up while I'm doing it?
Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna be showing you how he's gonna make the dressing.
Okay, the ingredients are tahini.
Okay, let me just, okay.
Tahini, garlic, monk fruit sweetener, lemon juice, and a little bit of hot water.
Could you just say something about the monk fruit? Because for somebody who hasn't heard us talk about it.
Well, it's made by Whole Earth. This is the brand we get. It's got erythritol and monk fruit, and those are the only two ingredients. The sweetness, 1 to 1, just like 1 teaspoon of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon of this as far as the sweetness go. We use this because it's very healthy. It doesn't have all of the stuff.
It doesn't have any calories.
Whatsoever.
Blood sugar or insulin spike.
It only has 3 carbohydrates.
Okay, Jordy, that's good.
Okay.
And I just want to mention though, that brand is one we got from Costco, but in the regular grocery stores, there's a brand called Lakanto.
Lakanto.
Lacanto, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we like to use that rather than a real sugar that has calories, because this is better for our body to not have added sugars. And that's what we learned about this product from the Sherzais, and we know it's safe to consume. Okay.
Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is put my tahini in here. Now you can double this to keep extra in the fridge if you want. This is like enough for 2 salads.
And tahini is a paste made out of sesame seeds.
Then I got my garlic, minced garlic.
And for those of you who are like wanting to say, where can I get my calcium? Because of course, I don't drink dairy as a plant-based eater. Tahini is a good source of calcium.
The monk fruit.
That's our sweetener.
The lemon juice, fresh squeezed. And a little tad bit of water for now. It will thicken up once the lemon juice hits it, so I won't be putting extra in here.
Right, and it actually thickens up once you put it in the refrigerator as well.
The lemon juice kind of curdles the tahini when it's too cold. Put a little bit more in here.
And you can thin it out to your preference.
Yeah, and once you put it back in the fridge, it's going to thicken up again too.
Yeah,
So
you might
remember
want to
that.
put water, before you serve it if you had leftover
Right.
and you're going to use it.
That still needs more.
And if you find you put too much water in, then you just add a little more tahini.
Right.
You can always do that.
Or like I said, stick it in the fridge for a couple minutes.
And then see how it looks.
Okay, that's about a dressing, but we'll mix up more.
We're going to add some veggies to our salad later. We're going to have some shredded carrots, some red cabbage, some tomatoes. We have some hemp seed here, which is another nice protein source. And we have some red onion. This is just what we've decided to do. And this is some of the kale that's already been cut up. And Georgie's going to show you a nice way to soften it up, because we know some of you find kale, the texture hard. And there's a way that you can massage it and soften it. So Georgie's going to show you that in a little bit. But
Okay,
this is,
there's our dressing.
oh, yeah, that looks very nice.
This is nice and runny.
Uh-huh.
You want like a thickness of a ranch dressing, say, so it doesn't just drain off of your lettuce or whatever you're going to use it on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is the kale. This here, we got two types. Like we've got the purple kale and the green kale, and I'm going to show you how to take the vein out of it. There's a big vein in the back.
Or stem, whatever you want to call it.
There's two ways that I do it. One way, you can just take your sharp knife, well, usually, and go down it. Or you just take and grab it by the stem and pull up.
That's my favorite way. That
That's
seems a lot
A
easier.
lot faster and easier. Okay. Do this one like I do it. Voila.
All right, then we're going to show you how you're going to cut it up.
I'm gonna roll this
Look
up.
how it just swishes it all together. Just in a big ball and then start chopping.
See what I do is this is already starting to break down those stem walls. So that when I'm massaging it, it should be easier to massage.
And as long as you're talking about breaking stem walls, let me just remind everybody, kale is a cruciferous vegetable. So that means it has sulforaphane. And as long as we don't cook it, we get our sulforaphane. But if you wanted to cook this kale, what you would do is you would cut it up like Georgie just did, let it sit on your counter for 45 minutes, where then a chemical reaction will happen and sulforaphane will bloom, and then you can cook it the way you want for whatever recipe you're making. But so now, Georgie, how are you gonna, well, let's see what you're gonna tell them now about massaging.
Okay, the massaging is gonna break down the stem walls.
I'm just looking at you
Oh,
right now.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, not the
I was
massage.
looking at the sale. By massaging the kale in your hand vigorously, it breaks it up and it's gonna make it easier to chew.
Now, what are you using on your hands to help
You can-
massage it?
You can either dry like I'm doing now. If you feel it's too hard, you can add a little bit of lemon juice to your hands.
So why don't you do that? Just
squirt a
doing a little tiny bit, that's all.
Just squirt a little bit on your hand. Just to get moisture onto the kale. And that makes it easier in your hands. It's just smoother. And as you can see, my kale's already starting, well, it might be hard to see in the camera, but it's already starting to get darker green than what it was. Do this for a couple minutes. It's a good workout.
Now, the recipe for the Sherzai, they actually wanted to put lemon in the actual kale salad, but I don't like that. So we're making this for us. Too much lemon I don't enjoy, and I have lemon in my dressing, but you could put lemon in here, you know, if you would enjoy it. So you could just drizzle it in to your preference. And now another way of massaging, if you even find it hard with the lemon juice, is that you could use like a drop of olive oil on your hand, and that makes it a little smoother too.
But
You know, just be a drop or two.
What I just put like a quarter of a teaspoon in my hand just now, and it made a big difference as far as massaging this.
Right, so that's the whole reason we're doing this, everybody, is for anybody who feels kale texture is tough. This is your way of making it not tough, so you can truly enjoy eating this very health promoting brain food, heart food. I mean, for our whole body, it's just so health promoting.
Okay, well, I think that's about good enough.
It looks beautiful. Yeah, look, I mean, that just looks lovely, doesn't it? Look at that with the purple and the green together. Oh, just wonderful.
Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and add some purple cabbage
That's
to
enough,
this.
I think, for us.
Yeah, I wanna mix it up.
Yeah. And you can get any vegetable you want. Now, since we're not going to eat all of this after we're done with the video, we're not going to put anything in here that's like wet.
Which means the carrots, the red onions. If you want to put cucumbers in it, leave them on the side because it will take your it'll wilt down your lettuce or kale or whatever you're using. So whenever I do carrots and stuff like that, I usually add it at the end.
Look at what the garbanzo beans look like
Yeah, because
before I get off of this.
I can go ahead and show
Yeah.
everybody how I'm gonna
Shake it.
shake them.
Mm.
We'll take them out.
I guess that's just to move them around a little bit
Right.
so they begin to maybe a different part.
Yeah, you can, when I started that, you could see the steam.
Let me just
coming out.
show with the spices on there, just get a close up on here. So, yeah, but they definitely are gonna need more cooking because we want to get it crispy.
These kind of remind me a little bit of corn nuts without the breaking of your teeth. So it's really good on your salads.
Here we are. Okay, so while our garbanzo beans are cooking, we're gonna take a pause, and then when we come back, we will plate up our kale salad. And we're hoping that this looks really delicious to you, and that you, if you haven't been eating kale, too much, that you'll try and enjoy this unbelievably healthy food. All right, so we will see you when the garbanzo beans are done. Okay, our garbanzo beans are done. And we're gonna get to a close-up so I can show Georgie making the little salad. So let me just change our little view. Okay, I'll take the camera so that Georgie can talk. So he's gonna plate our salad now.
So this is a pretty good sized plate. I'd say it's a 10-inch plate. And this is the size plate of vegetables that we recommend you eat when you have a good salad. So I got my cabbage and my kale in here already. I'm gonna go ahead and put some red onions in here. A little bit of carrots.
Of course, you can put as much as you like.
Right.
I'll have a little more carrot than that for that salad because I'm gonna eat that big salad myself.
Okay.
And then we'll make another one for Georgie when we're off video.
Some tomatoes.
And again, you can add anything to this you want. So this is just a couple of things.
Then we're gonna sprinkle some
Hemp seed.
hemp seeds on top.
So, we're getting protein from our hemp seed. We're getting protein. And let me just show our roasted garbanzos that came out of the oven. And again, the time will vary depending on how wet they are. These were actually fresh garbanzo beans that Georgie made in the Instant Pot. So, you just have to, might be 45 minutes, might be a little longer, might be a little less, depending on your oven, where you are. Look how beautiful that looks, everybody. And now we're gonna add our dressing,
Okay.
our tahini dressing.
I had to add a little bit of more water to it while we were gone. We're just gonna sprinkle some across here.
Yeah, and this is a high-fat salad dressing, but so much better than just having oil because there's so much more nutrition in that tahini than what you would ever find with just oil. And that is why we love to use our nuts and seeds for our fat. Let me just get as close up as I can so you guys can all see that. Isn't that just beautiful? All wonderful. And then I'm just gonna, before I get off our close-up, that's our leftovers. Now we're gonna take those and put them in a Tupperware just by itself. And then we'll take a Tupperware and put our other things in because we don't want to put our wet with the greens. We just want to keep those greens as fresh as they can be and not get spoiled by any moisture. So all the other things here will just kind of go in their own separate little containers. All right, so you hold it just right there for a second while I change our view. Okay, so there you have it. This was a little adaptation of the Sherzai salad because we added a couple more vegetables. But we're so happy to them for inspiring us to eat more of our leafy greens. And I just want to tell you, even though there's so many kinds of leafy greens, there's a reason why I like to eat a lot of kale because I also get calcium from my kale. Now, some greens you don't get calcium from. They have them, like spinach has calcium and Swiss chard and beet greens, but they also have oxalates. And so the calcium binds to that and we don't absorb it as much. So some of the greens where you do get more of your calcium from is like kale and collards, which I also eat and also often put in my salads as well. So just a little tip on that. That's one reason I love to eat the kale because it's got more good things in it, you know. And then again, the sulforaphane, right? That's well, you talked about that earlier, that wonderful anti-cancer chemical that's in all cruciferous vegetables. That's in there too. So we hope you make this and try it and enjoy it and find a new way for eating kale. Until next time, I'm Denise.
I'm Georgie.
We're the Happy Vegan Couple, and our hope is that we're helping you optimize your health with whole food, plant-based nutrition. Not just vegan nutrition, right? But whole food, plant-based nutrition. That's what we're after. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.